holiday season can be stressful for a variety of reasons, but if you're currently going through a breakup, it can make it that much more difficult. If you're wondering, should I reach out to my ex for the holidays? Then this video is for you. Let's talk about it. The holidays can bring up a lot of memories for people, sometimes good ones, sometimes bad ones. If this is your first holiday without a significant other, you might be wondering, should I reach out to them? I'm going to share some things that you might want to think about before you send that message. So if you're thinking about reaching out to your ex for the holiday, I think there are two things that you should consider. Number one is, what is my intention by doing this? And number two, what are the potential outcomes? So first, if we're talking about intention, if you're wanting to reach out to them, then it's likely one of two reasons. I think it's important that we really ask ourselves these questions before we take actions. Why is it that you want to talk to this person? Is it because you just want to extend an olive branch and you let them know that you still care and you're curious and you just want to tell them to have a nice holiday, have a Merry Christmas, something like that? Or is it because you want to talk to them for some reason? Maybe you miss them, you want to see how they're doing, maybe get some information or something like that. And I think it's really important to be honest with ourselves. A lot of the time, the latter is the reason. It's because we want to talk to them and we want to see how they're doing and maybe see if they miss us and get some more intel. So generally, I think that is the intention. If that's not for you and you just want to say Merry Christmas and hope you're doing well, then that's fine. But you probably wouldn't be looking for a video like this if that was the case. So let's just say that your intention is because you want to talk to them and you want to open up a conversation and you feel like the holidays might be a good time to do that. I think it's important to analyze the potential outcomes of this situation before you do that. And I know that doesn't sound romantic at all, that doesn't sound fun, but if you really do want to reach out to them on the holiday because you want to open up a conversation, then before you take any action, I highly recommend just thinking about the potential outcomes and how you're going to feel about each. So they could respond and say, "Thank you so much. How have you been? I'm so happy to hear from you." And that would be the ideal scenario, right? If your intention is to open up a conversation with this person because you miss them, maybe you want them back, that would be the ideal situation, right? So you have to consider other alternatives as well. They could simply just say, "Thanks. Merry Christmas to you too," or something like that, and just keep it very short. Are you okay with that response? Is that enough for you, or is that going to upset you? They could also not respond at all. How is that going to make you feel? If you feel even in the slightest bit that it might ruin your holiday, if you reach out to this person, if you reach out to your ex and say, "I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, hope you're doing well," and you get crickets back, is it going to ruin your holiday? Because chances are that's what could happen. So would you be okay with that? And if you are, then I suppose it wouldn't really be necessary to go ahead and reach out to them in the first place. They could also, depending on the relationship and depending on the breakup, they could say something not so nice back. You never know. And it just depends on what your relationship looked like, what your breakup looked like, all of that. But the one thing I will say, and this is just telling the truth in love, if the breakup was recent and they broke up with you, they don't want you to text them, "Happy holidays, Merry Christmas," because it's going to put them in an awkward position, because they know if they don't answer, you're going to get upset. They know if they keep their response short that you're probably going to get upset. So you're putting them in an awkward situation. And if you have any hope of getting back together with them, let's say, then you don't want to put them in an awkward situation. So it can be very complicated, and everybody's breakup is different. Everybody's relationships are totally different. But I think if it's a fresh breakup and they broke up with you, meaning they want to separate themselves from you, at least in that capacity, then chances are they probably are not going to be super thrilled to hear from you on the holiday. And I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. And I think a lot of times we look for excuses to stay in contact with people because we miss them and we have an attachment to them. And it's very hard to break away from that attachment. And I absolutely get that. But you need to preserve your own emotional well-being. And, I think sometimes we forget about all of the things that we do have when we're constantly focusing on what we lack. So if you are spending the holiday with family, with friends, with other people who love you and care about you, then, you might be better off investing your time and your energy into being present with them. So if you're in that boat, that's what I would say. If it was a recent breakup and you want to reach out because you miss them and they broke up with you, just consider those things. So number one, again, just focus on intention. What is the purpose of this? Is it just to extend an olive branch, keep the peace, or is it because there's something underlying? I don't want to say ulterior motive, but maybe you have some ulterior motive. And that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people, when it comes to the holiday season, they have all of these memories floating around, and it can be, while it's supposed to be a happy time, it can be a really sad time for a lot of people. So it's understandable that you would feel that way. But I think sometimes we let our emotions kind of take the reins, and then that's how we get into places where we have some regrets. So consider the possible outcomes, right? So they could either respond kindly and open up a dialogue. They could just respond but keep it very short, or they could say nothing at all, or they could say something not so nice, I suppose. Again, it just depends on the situation, the breakup, what have you. But I would just say consider all of those factors before you do anything. So if you're going back and forth debating, should I reach out to them? Should I not reach out to them? There are two options. There's do it and don't do it. And then there are the outcomes that we talked about. So just think about each outcome, think about your intention, and make the decision from that place. I've created a brand new virtual class called The 5 Mistakes Preventing You from Getting Over Your Ex, and the link to it is below this video. I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.